Pornographic video allegedly showing Sean Shams and an even more famous A-list celebrity is being shopped around Hollywood, according to a lawyer for one of the music mogul's latest accusers. The explicit video supposedly shows Combs alongside a more high-profile person who appears unaware they're being filmed, lawyer Ariel Mitchell-Kidd told NewsNation's Laura Ingle, without identifying the file. There already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood being shopped around, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video, Mitchell-Kidd alleged. I can tell the video was pornographic. This was in his Atlanta home, and it does seem like the person isn't looking into the video. To me, it doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped, the attorney said of the content. Mitchell-Kidd also discussed the case brought by one of her new clients, who claims she was raped by Combs in 2018 and is set to file a lawsuit this week. The alleged victim, who has not been identified, publicly filed a police report after the incident, the attorney noted. She reached out to me a few weeks ago. She called me and told me about her assault and her escape. She was at a friend's house who had industry ties, and Diddy decided to come to the house, Mitchell-Kidd explained. Her client later learned that Combs was allegedly planning on sex trafficking her that night, according to Mitchell-Kidd. It led to her being served a drink. She started to feel woozy. Combs sexually assaulted her with an inanimate object, and then directed another gentleman to sexually assault her while he watched and pleasured himself, she alleged. Mitchell-Kidd's client was supposedly able to escape into the street, which was witnessed by the neighbor, the lawyer said. Combs, 54, was indicted in September for racketeering, sex trafficking by force, and transportation for purposes of prostitution. He was accused of using drugs to keep the victims obedient and compliant during his freak-offs violent, sometimes days-long sex sessions, according to a federal complaint. His employees allegedly helped organize travel for participants who were put up in hotel rooms where the freak-offs were held. The damning federal charges came after a flurry of civil lawsuits accused the Bad Boy Records founder of sexual assault and abuse. Combs is being held without bail at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. He has pleaded not guilty, denying all the allegations against him. He filed a notice of his intent to appeal the judge's decision to deny him bail on Monday. Neither an attorney nor a spokesperson for Combs immediately responded to requests for comment Tuesday.
Due to the high-profile nature that it was Mr. Combs who did this, she was afraid for her life. She was concerned that if she was to come forward and say something, that no one would believe her, because we're talking about 2018 when Mr. Combs was still pretty much at the height of his career, still very much so an icon and influential figure. So she's just a young girl from Northern California who's gonna believe that he had done something to her like this. So she didn't tell anybody. She did not hire an attorney. All she did was make the police report in the hopes that maybe the police would try to investigate and come up with anything. But she said she kind of felt from the police that they were disregarding what she was saying, even without saying Mr. Combs' name. So she didn't feel any confidence that revealing his name would have done anything.
Sure, sure. I mean, but there's a police report.
Yeah.
I mean, that fact in of itself is a big deal, because when you're talking about going back in time and talking about these allegations from other alleged victims, you know, there's not a lot of police reports, but you guys actually have one. And is that going to be revealed? Are we going to be able to see it?
Yes, as soon as I file my lawsuit in civil court, I will be attaching the criminal complaint that was made. I'll attach the number so everyone can see that this is a real number and can go to the police department there and request their own copy of that police report that was made back in 2018.
Well, that's going to be a huge deal when it happens, obviously, so we want to follow up on that. Did Mr. Combs have any reaction? Do you know if he was interviewed? I mean, he was named in the police report?
I don't think so. Based on what she said, she really felt that the police were trying to bury this and disregard her claims and not really investigate, which is another reason why a lot of victims don't report these things to the police. We have to address the elephant in the room is that we have victims, especially women, who go to the police, who are typically men, who don't actually investigate these things. They victim blame, they victim shame, and women don't feel safe or even protected to even make these claims because they don't think they'll be taken seriously, nor will their claims be investigated.
Right. Well, your client should be proud of herself for filing that claim and making that call and going for help, because that's a huge deal. And of course, these are allegations. We want to say that. What was it like for you when you got this phone call, when you realized what you were going to be stepping into?
After talking to her, I just wanted to protect her. I just wanted to help her. She seemed as somebody very broken by this experience. And it was very concerning for me to hear her saying these things and expressing this very deep trauma associated with what happened to her. I just wanted to make sure that, number one, she was heard and we can get her voice to the masses, and maybe Mr. Combs will actually, like right now we're starting to see, will actually face some type of consequences for what he's done.